Hi all, here we are on another beautiful sunny day here in Moore Park Beach, just near Bundaberg in Australia. So I've just clicked up 10,000 Ks on this little beastie and thought I'd do a bit of a walk around of what I like and what I don't like and how it's going. For the most part, it's fantastic. It's way more than I expected. When I put my money down for it in November last year, like 6 months before they were released, I saw it and I thought, oh yeah, that looks like another 450. Oh, it's a twin, hang on. Oh, that's interesting. And then I did a bit more research, and I know a couple of guys with the 800s that have had them for a while, and they've, like, build quality wise, they were happy. And I thought, yeah, okay, I'm going to give this thing a try, because my DRZ was a bit wore out, my old Transalp was a bit wore out, so I thought, oh, we'll see. So I bought it, and at this stage, zero regrets. I paid $9,000, $8,995 or something silly, as a pre-order, so I had a bit of a win there. The only mods I've done to it, what modifications have I done to it? I've just kept the stock bash plate, because I'm only using it as an adventure bike, so I'm not rock hopping and log hopping and all that sort of stuff. I'm 50 years old. I'm kind of a bit past all that now, so I'm happy just with that as it is. My thought process is I'll keep it as stock as possible just to see how it holds up, and if it holds up really well, I'll get another one in a few years' time and modify the guts out of that one maybe. But at this stage, I'm not too stressed. I just, when I got back from Croombit Tops, riding around with boys on heavily modified bikes and standard bike, and this thing just does everything I need it to do. The tyre selection, 606 on the rear, Pirelli rally race on the front. It grip-wise is great. Suspension, yeah, a trip to the tuners probably wouldn't hurt it, but it's more than adequate with standard suspension. I'm 110 kilos, well, it's got a couple of £100, I'm guessing, with gear on the back, and it does it fine. It's, like I say, it's not the best suspension in the world, but it's definitely some of the best factory suspension I've ever been on. But otherwise, modification-wise, what have I done to it? I put the saw seat on it, which that took a fair while to come from CFMoto, so that was a bit disappointing that the parts took so long. I got the standard factory pannier racks. Now, these were $200 each, like $200 for the seat, $200 for the racks, which is insanely cheap compared to all, stuff we're used to. The rack sucks a little bit how it bends around like that, so just a little exhaust cover seems to stop my bag from getting burnt. So I've got anti-strap bags and they seem to hold up pretty well on there. I haven't noticed any marks or anything, so I'm going to call that done. The tall seat, my giant loop bag, my little TPMS here, the tyre pressure monitoring system. That's just a little eBay one with a solar panel. We just made a bracket because the standard bracket that comes with it goes on the handlebars is useless. So threw that away and just bolt it on like that, and that works a treat. I had a flat tyre once at 100 kilometres an hour and on the rear going down the tar, and I never want to go through that again. So this is great. You can kind of keep an eye on your pressures, especially like you hit something hard and you think, oh, that's going to flatten that front tyre. Look down at that. Oh no, it's still got air. Happy days. I've got Oxford heated grips. They're worth their weight in gold. They're just, we don't get too cold here in Queensland, but when I'm travelling everywhere else, it's worth it. A little $9 cruise control thing. Buy them on eBay. I've seen some advertised on Facebook for $50. Don't fall for it. Well, just jump on eBay, they get heaps of them. And then I got the little AliExpress GPS mounty thing. I'll be honest, it's kind of useless. With two gadgets bolted to it with ram mounts, it was very flexible. So I've zippy tied it from there to there, which stiffened it all up, but it was a bit disappointing. You'd have to probably build something yourself and make it stiffer. It did okay on the windscreen mount, but with the GPS and the phone mounted on there, go over a really bumpy road and the windscreen would slowly creep down. So that's it. What else have I modified on this thing? Nothing. Stock pipe, still on the original chain and sprockets after 10,000 Ks. They seem fine. I like these pegs. Some people don't, some people do. I do. I haven't had a foot slip off, and they're plenty wide enough for my fat old feet, so that's good. Got tubes in the tyres, obviously, because these brand of tyres don't have a tubeless option, which sucks a bit. I've just ordered, Unifilter's done a pre-filter for the air filter, so I've just ordered a pre-filter. I'm going to leave the paper filter in the bike because it seems to work fine. I've had a look in there a few times and it seems okay, but a pre-filter probably just can't hurt for the dusty conditions. So it was only $26 or something, so I thought, bugger it, I'll get that. So you pop the snorkel out and it replaces the snorkel and just as a bit of a foam pre-filter, so that can't hurt. But otherwise, mechanically it's been flawless. The motor is just beautiful. Has, you know, be due for a service soon enough in another 1,000 kilometres, and there it is, full of oil. The motor's a gem, actually. Yeah, absolute cracker. Had a friend message me last night about, he rode one the other day and he got a bit of head shake in the front. So I've read some stuff about people just loosening these bolts off in the triple trees and it just maybe, but this one's been fine. I haven't had any trouble there, so maybe it was a one-off, who knows. I'm still running the factory bark busters because I haven't laid it down and I haven't stressed about it. I probably will replace them at some point, and maybe some crash bars. I did have some the other day, but I was like, can't be bothered. But yeah, no, otherwise, man, I just can't fault this thing. It's nice to ride, really nice. I'm coming off from a DRZ 400, and it blows that out of the water. As a 50-year-old looking for an adventure bike, yeah, this just blows the DRZ out of the water all day, every day. What have I had to fix on this? Adjusting the spring. It comes with a little C-spanner under the seat. I didn't have much luck with that. There's probably a trick to it, and I'm a bit special when it comes to mechanicking. So I just knocked it with a hammer and a screwdriver like I've done every other bike, and that seemed fine. I've adjusted the rear up that much. So, and that works good for me and my girth. And then had the water leak with the water in the frame thing, so I climbed under there with a little drill bit. I think you can see that, and drilled that side and that side, the other side the same. Bit of rusty water came out of this side, bit of clear water came out the other side. Hey, if that's their only design flaw for a first generation of a model of bike, man, that's pretty bloody good. The lights are good, the lights are fine. I've ridden it at night a couple of times briefly. I don't do a lot of night riding, so I'm not going to bother with spotlights and stuff. I usually like to be set up camp and, you know, cracking my first beer before the time it gets dark. So yeah, I'm not too stressed about that. Otherwise, you know, because this is a bit of an experiment for me, being, you know, I've never had anything to do with CFMoto or Chinese. If someone would have said to me 5 years ago, oh, you'll be riding a Chinese bike in 5 years and raving about it, I would have laughed at them. But yeah, so because it's an experiment, my thought process is I won't spend too much money on it, modifying it. I'll see how it goes. And if this one, you know, goes the distance and I'm happy with it, I'll buy another and spend the money on that one maybe. Or, you know, if I trip over accessories for a reasonable price as I go, I'll do that. At this stage, I'm not too stressed. Yeah, 10,000 Ks. Go have a look at my last videos. I've gone through some gnarly stuff, and it's all held up really well. Had some massive hits on this front wheel, and it still runs true and no dents. Had another big one the other day, actually, a massive rock. And when I hit it, I thought, oh, that's got to ding that rim. I'm only running 22 pound in the front, and yeah, no, it's still good. You know, like, really good. Yeah, astonishingly good. Yeah, look at the little radiator cover there. Probably wouldn't stop a stick or anything, but it's, you know, it's better than nothing. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be hardcores out there that are going, oh, you've got to have a bash plate and you've got to do this and you've got to do that, and good luck to them, you know what I mean? But for what I'm doing, it's holding up really well. I say 10,000 kilometres. Yeah, I haven't serviced it myself. My dealer does it for 220 bucks. So I'll be honest, for that price, I'm probably not even going to bother getting my tools out on this bike. I'll just drop it to the dealer, 220 bucks. He does his thing. Keeps its warranty. Yeah, like, why would I even bother? And lucky for me, we've got a good dealer in town here at Bundaberg Motorcycles. Yeah, so if you're in the market for one of these, go and see Keith. If it's, I don't know, if your local dealer's not cutting the mustard, man, come up to Bundy and catch up with Keith. He's, yeah, he's really good to deal with. I haven't had much to deal with him before I bought this bike, but yeah, no, he's been great. Really good. And like I say, his pricing seems okay. I've asked the question on a Facebook page, what are people paying for their first services and stuff? And yeah, he was well within the ballpark. He was actually one of the cheapest ones, so that's a win. So yeah, for 220 bucks a service, I'm not even going to muck around with it. I'll just let him service it, and I'm just going to ride it and enjoy it. And again, luckily, his shop is just around the corner from where I work, so super convenient for me. But yeah, otherwise, what would I like to put on it? Nothing really. Maybe some crash bars for if I do ever decide to lay it down, and yeah, maybe some bark busters. But again, I'm not stressing about it because it's such a low seat height. Anytime you think you might drop it, you kind of catch it. It's like, I'm 6'2", so I don't know. I don't even come close to dropping it. Maybe I just ride like an old woman too. Who knows? But I seem to keep up with the group. Yeah, but no. So like I say, yeah, only real downsides, the little bit of water in the frame. And I think I've mentioned in an earlier video, but I'll mention it again. This dash, yeah, my only complaint about that, it's great, but just the font for these odometer and that clock, it's just a bit small when you're riding along. When you're in your 50s and got crappy eyes, it's a bit small. I did have it connected through my phone, so I could, you know, push these buttons to change songs. But then when I got that one, it obviously doesn't have that. So I'm still using the same helmet and the same phone. So it was a pain, because you jump on this bike and it connects to the bike and it changes songs and that. But then you jump on this bike and then you've got to try and reset the cardo back to directly to the phone. And look, again, I'm 50. My technology isn't my friend. So I've deleted it out of the phone. I've deleted this bike out of the phone. So I just do the cardo direct to the phone for both bikes, and I change songs on the side of the helmet, because I don't know, that just seems to work for me. And again, I'm a bit special when it comes to that. Oh, one modification we did, I just remembered, a constant 12-volt cigarette lighter plug. Got to change the one on that as well. That one's mounted to the key, which is a pain in the bum. You want to charge your phone. My cardo went flat the other day because I forgot to charge it the night before. We stopped for an hour for lunch and I still couldn't listen to any tunes on the trip home because you've got to leave the key on to charge it. So yeah, I'll get Daryl to change that to a constant. But yeah, otherwise, the brakes are good. You know, you've watched all the other reviews, so I don't need to review how the bike goes to ride. It's fine. Like, the brakes are fine, the suspension's better than I expected, the build quality, you know, like, I've gone over some rough stuff, carrying a lot of gear. All the welds still look good. All looks nice and tidy. The chain looks like it's just about due for an adjustment. But yeah, that'll be the only time I get the tools out on this bike. Touch wood. Yeah, no, very good. Very, very good. I did put this on it. It's just for a top box. Just if you go out, want to go into town and get a few bits and pieces. Like, that bike's got the top box on it. Just handy, you know, if you want to throw your hat and a bottle of drink and whatever. You got to go into town and get a box of nails. We're 20 kilometres out of town, so, you know, you just jump on the bike and go and get a box of nails or something. You can just chuck it in a top box. It's so much easier than a backpack. So that's all that's about. That just mounts to that. And then we actually made some holes in it, so I just leave that on there and strap my sleeping bag or whatever to the back of that when we're going camping. Stock pipe, yeah, I'm not going to change the pipe. Not even going to bother. It sounds fine. Actually sounds way better than I thought it was going to. Originally we were planning on changing the pipe, you know, to cut it off at the cat and throw a pipe on it, but I'm not even going to bother. It's fine. And again, $9,000 bike. Ride it till the wheels fall off it. I'm at 10,000 kilometres now. It's 40,000 kilometres till it hits its first valve clearance check. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this thing pulls up. Longevity is the only real question about it, which, you know, I'm at a beach town here, so, you know, I'm not getting any surface rust on anything. Nothing really untoward about it. It all just seems to be holding up really well. So, but again, it's only, what are we, 4 months in or something, so we'll see. Hopefully in 4 years we've got the same sort of story to report. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, no, like I say, the brakes are fine. Engine's beautiful, gear change is nice, the clutch is ridiculously light, especially compared to that one. I still struggle to work this out. That's got a hydraulic clutch, and it's as heavy as crazy. This is just like the lightest clutch I've ever used, and it's a cable clutch. It's so light. It's almost too light. But yeah, it's fine. Like, it's amazingly good. Yeah, so that CFMoto, man, if you're watching this one, keep up the great work. You've done good. You've done way better than I was anticipating. I think that covers everything. Loose bolts. In one of my old videos, we said that bolt was loose, but it turned out that the dealer had loosened it off because he tried to change a sprocket. I've got a 15-tooth sprocket on this. That's another modification. And his boy didn't nip it up properly. So that was nothing to do with CFMoto. What else have we got to do? Nothing. I can't think of anything. Yeah, no, it's great. The bash plate, yeah, it's a bit thin. I read somewhere one guy had a good idea to just find someone who's put an aftermarket one on theirs and pinch their original one and double it up. Have two. I thought, that's not stupid. But again, I'm not that stressed about it. If I trip over one, I'll do that. But if not, who cares? I'll just ride it till the wheels fall off it, I suppose. Because I'm guessing, being a Chinese brand, the resale value on these isn't going to be insanely good, like some of our Suzukis and Hondas have been in the past. But who knows? If their reputation gets good enough, then these might hold their value. But, you know, if history's anything to go by, Chinese stuff never really held its value. So I'm not too concerned about resale value. I'll just ride it until the wheels fall off and call it done. And when it you know, if I'm happy, if I get, you know, 60, 70, 80, 100,000 Ks out of it before I get to a point where I don't trust it to go on an outback trip or something like that, well then I'll, you know, if I'm happy and satisfied, I'll buy another one and just keep this one for spare parts. Or who knows, if it holds its value and I get a good price second hand for it, I'll take it and go and buy another. Who knows what the future holds, because the MT800X or whatever they're calling it, the MTX, that's looking very interesting as well. But I've already got a big bike. Get a load of that monster. That's the one I picked up the other week in Wollongong. So these two I'm very, very satisfied with. This is me now. I've been on the hunt for the last 2 years after the Transalp started to wear out on what to replace them with. That's fantastic for touring with the wife on the back on tar. That's essentially my road bike, but can do the odd dirt road. And this is my dirt bike. So yeah, I suppose I better give the DRZ a bath and get it all cleaned up and sold, because registrations here in Queensland are just getting a bit preposterous. So yeah, that's it for me. Yeah, if in doubt, go and buy one. You can't go wrong. They're good. See ya.